Hello.
Hello, we are live on both Instagram and TikTok, and also we have a live audience here. So this is like a meta version of live, because we have a live in a live.
I think you called it a live.
Yeah, this is Inception, is really what we're doing up here. It's amazing. Okay, welcome everybody. This is a kickoff to our fall baby gear event, but really tonight's all about instilling confidence. If you know anything about Snuggle Bugz, that's our job, to educate, to help create an amazing experience for you, and to help you feel confident in the purchase decisions that you make. So tonight is all about that, and then like there's some deals and giveaways, all the good stuff that put up with us for everyone. Yeah, amazing stuff. It's amazing stuff. Before we get into this, we should probably describe who we are. So why don't you go first?
Well, I'm Julia. If you've seen any of our social media, you might recognize my face. I have an adorable 2-year-old daughter, and of course I put her picture up there so everyone could see how adorable she is, because that's what we do with kids. And who are you?
My name's Thomas. I am a father of 2 boys. I have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. It's awesome and chaotic. I am the VP at Snuggle Bugz for all things customer related. So it'll be retail, e-commerce, marketing, all the stuff.
All the stuff.
So if you have a complaint, send it to operations. That'd be good. Okay. Why don't we pop into this? First thing, event overview. What are we doing? Mentioned it already, instilling confidence. So our job here today is not to necessarily demo specific products. It's to help you make a great purchase decision. So everything we're going to describe today is all about buying guides, what to think about, how to make the right call for your family. If you feel like you missed anything, you're like, oh, I wish we could go over that point, don't worry. We have 2 YouTube demos that cover all of this. If you're worried that it might be repeat content, don't, because I've seen the views and I know you haven't watched it. So they are there for you after the checkout, and we will have also this recorded and saved live so you can come back and rewatch it at any point.
We also have a million stroller demos, car seat demos, all the demos. So if you have a product question, check it out, or talk to the brands who are lovely decided to join us.
That's more for the in-person people, but
yes,
you get it.
Social people, you get it.
Okay, so we are going to also, at the end of this, kick off our event. So for those who are in person, all the deals are live and early, which means if we have limited quantities on anything, you get first dibs. That's awesome. And if you're on the lives, it's also like, going to launch after this, quiet. But so like shop after this, because there's definitely some amazing deals with some limited quantities. So take a peek after this.
Also for social people, we're going to be launching and announcing our giveaways after this. So if you entered,
yeah, make sure you stay for the whole thing.
Stick around
yeah,
and check
absolutely.
if you want. There's some pretty sweet ones.
Okay, I called this out, but if you have a question at any time, just let us know. We've got social people ready, so if you ask questions in the comments, Stella's gonna raise her hand, interrupt us, and ask away, so we're excited for that. We want it to be interactive. We want to make sure that you're getting the most value possible out of the time we have here today. Sound good? Okay, so I think it's helpful if we cover some terms, because in the world of baby gear, there's a lot of terms that we throw around, and it would probably be helpful if we clear some of those up, because some of it's industry jargon and some of it's legacy terms and some of it's just confusing. So,
I literally had someone ask me what a bucket seat was 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's funny when you're in it, you sort of take it for granted, but the reality is we know that when you approach this for the first time and someone's like, well, do you know the load leg and carrying capacity? You're like, I don't know what that means. So we're gonna try and clear some of those terms up. Number 1, infant bucket seat. For all intents and purposes, you can look at that as someone says an infant car seat. When we say it, we're referring to a bucket seat. A bucket seat is the one you're going to use from birth till approximately 1 year, give or take, right? Maybe a few months after, a few months before, depending on the size of your kiddo. That's all that means when we say infant car seat. There are convertible car seats or all-in-one car seats that can handle from infancy, but when we say infant car seat, we're talking about a bucket seat. We'll talk about some examples of that as we get in, but just to kind of clear that term up, that's what that means.
And you mentioned convertible car seats. We throw that one around a lot too. That's going to be a car seat that does rear facing, and then once you've maxed that out, will turn into a forward facing car seat. So you're getting a bit of a longer life, but it's not going to attach to your stroller.
Which is another one of those terms that's kind of funny, because convertible was from a time when not all car seats were convertible, but now basically all second stage car seats are convertible. So if you're confused by that term and why do we use it, that's why. But really it just means it can face backwards and forwards.
I didn't know that.
There you go. Last is booster seats. We're not going to touch on booster seats too much. So for context, my 6-year-old, who's actually quite tall, is just moving into a booster seat. So you're going to be in the convertible car seat for a long time before you get to that stage. So we'll touch on them lightly, but a booster seat's a future instance. It's It's also like newer. There was a time when booster seats weren't required as heavy or as big as kids are now. So it's a little bit newer as far as like innovations in that space, but we will touch on them briefly kind of towards the end of car seats. Yeah? Are you with me? Social, you with me? I'm assuming that all I'm seeing is hearts coming up the, yeah. Amazing.
And fire emojis, apparently.
Yeah. Okay, car seat safety things to keep in mind. So installation tips. These are a couple tips overarching all car seats, convertible and infant, that you're going to want to think about. All car seats sold in Canada pass Canadian safety regulations. So technically, they're all safe. The additional safety features are going to make them more safe. However, installation is basically the main thing that is going to make a car seat unsafe. There are some studies that suggest up to 70% of car seats are installed incorrectly, right? So installation is really the big key to make sure that your seat's safe no matter what decision you make. And so we're gonna talk a little bit about that. Number one thing to note though is when a car seat is installed, so let's say this is your seat, and you have it facing the back of the seat, sideways at the belt path, you should not see more than 1 inch play. You might have a little bit more near the back of the seat, but up near the belt path, you want it tightened down with no more than 1 inch play back and forth. So that's a good tip to know, like, hey, as you're installing your seat, if you can, move it, it's probably not tight enough, and you just need to tighten it up and bring it in a little closer.
But you're not going to want to jimmy it back and forth or do anything crazy, because that can also just dislodge your install, so you're going to kind of be a little gentler and be mindful of that.
Yeah, you don't
as
need
well.
to tip test it, it's good. Okay, they also can use a seat belt or a UAS, never both of those. So UAS is those little latches underneath your seats at the back. Like every car from 2002 has one. So unless you're rocking a 2001 Honda Civic, and if that case, like, God bless, that's good for you. But otherwise, you can use either latch, just not approved to use both at the same time. UAS latch installs are not going to hold as much weight, so eventually with most seats you're going to go to a belt install, but it is possible based on fit in a car, trying to get the best setup possible.
And as always, make sure you're checking both your vehicle seat and your car seat manual, because cars are finicky and car seats are finicky, and not everyone fits everyone, so you just want to check that out beforehand.
Yeah, like we said, most of safety is fit. Getting it fit properly in your car, set up correctly, and then finding the best suite of safety features that matter to you. It's okay. It's okay. We love babies, so you're all good. Okay.
Also, I don't know if anyone's heard, but my grandma used to tell me to go to the fire station and get my car seat installed. Don't do that. They're not able to do that. I feel like that's like a really big myth. You want to find a reputable CPSD if you have any concerns. We put a little website and a little direction, so that makes it nice and easy for you to do that. And also, it's important to note, a reputable, true CPST isn't going to install your car seat for you. They're going to guide you, teach you how to do it, because ultimately, you're going to be the ones installing and uninstalling it.
What is a CPST?
Great question. Thanks for bringing that up. CPST stands for Child Passenger Safety Technician. It's one of those words, again, that's thrown around a lot, and they are basically taught to put car seats in and make sure they're safe and be able to teach other people to do that.
So if you ever have any questions, that's a great resource, but we also have tons of installation videos. We have a full Learning Center article. Don't worry about grabbing the link, because we also have it in our website in the Learning Center. If you haven't been there yet, check it out, because we've got long, in-depth articles. Even when you use AI, sometimes our articles pop up as the suggested ones, so you're
As
gonna
they
wanna check
should,
those.
because
As
they're
they should.
great.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, types of car seats.
There's a few.
We're going to start with infant car seats, okay? Does that sound good? Everyone's with us? We got terms, we got some of maybe the boring stuff out of the way. We can actually talk about products, yeah? Amazing. Okay, vehicle fit tips.
So again, like I said, you always want to check your manual. That's going to be your biggest thing. Car seats have different positions. I mean, I think some car seats have seatbelt airbags. You're not going to want to use that. If you are looking at a car seat with a load leg, not every car can take a load leg. So that's also important to note, or vice versa. Some load legs have restrictions where they can't go in humps in the middle. There's just a lot of quirks, and car seats are very big and daunting, but your manual is going to be your best bet to help make sure you get that perfect fit.
Why did we start with the manual? Well, that's because you're not going to necessarily change your car. That's a very expensive purchase for, a car seat purchase. So it's really simple. Almost every car manual will have a whole section on car seats, and they'll say, like, you can use load legs, you have to use it this sort of install, and so it'll give you the information, so that way you're armed when you come into the store, say, okay, great, I know kind of, I'm good with load legs, that's awesome. And if you don't know what a load leg is, don't worry, we'll get there. But the idea is you come prepped, and that way you're not stressed or like, oh, I bought something and it doesn't fit, or does this fit in my car? No, just check out your car manual. It'll tell you if you've lost it, like I had with all my old cars, they're all available online, so that's awesome.
Everybody keeps it in the glove box, Thomas. It's like a standard.
Right. Okay, so dry fits is the next thing to talk about. Dry fits is kind of a term that's used a bit across the industry. Our owner, Ben, takes claim for inventing it. And what does it mean, though? It just means go to a store, have them take the seat, put it in your car, and see if it fits. Dry fit. So if you live near a store, one great way to be sure that you've got vehicle fit is just go to a store and actually have it installed. And like, not fully installed, but check to see if it fit. Check if you are sitting in the driver's seat, how far back do you need based on your legs, and how far does that seat reach up? Does it actually fit within your car? That's a real consideration. I have long legs, so for me, if I'm in a car seat, I'm basically all the way back, so I can have very few car seats that actually fit behind me without being up close and uncomfortable while I'm driving. So when you test that, then you know. It's like, okay, if it has to be behind the driver, great. Then we have to limit the number of seats based on how far we have to pull the seat back. Or maybe it's just the partner or the passenger has to be a little uncomfortable. You figure it all out. However, I'm going to throw Cybex rep who's here is like 5-0, so she can sit perfectly with every single car seat that exists right behind her.
And if you don't live near a store, you can always take some measurements of your car, and we have all the specs and seats in our learning center, in the product description on our website, so you can actually just take a measuring tape and kind of DIY it.
Yeah, quite literally. Yeah, if you're online and you're not near a store of any kind, no problem. Go to the specs, it'll give you the dimensions, it'll give you the longest dimensions. Just take a tape measure, measure out, pull your seat back, figure out exactly where it's going to sit, and you'll be able to find the perfect one for you.
I feel like Mr. Travel System over here needs to talk about what a travel system is. If you haven't seen our YouTube video, you know he's very passionate about this.
So this is another industry term that has no meaning. A travel system, technically, as we would define it, is any system where you can take a car seat and put it on a stroller. That's it. Weirdly though, a travel system is not a travel stroller, nor can travel strollers typically take car seats to become a travel system,
but
except
some
in
can.
random cases where it can. So, therefore, if every car seat, especially every infant car seat, can become a bucket or a travel system, the travel system has no meaning, and you don't really need to stress or worry, like, does this become a travel system? Hey, look, if it's one of these, yes, you have a travel system. Perfect, problem solved. The thing you really need to think about is compatibility, right? Not every car seat works with every stroller, but every car seat is a travel system, or can be made to a travel system. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in a car seat like this. So, how do you know if it's compatible? Well, brand to brand, magically, is always compatible. Who knew? You would assume, right? Brands can go with brands. So if you have an Upper product, it's going to go on an Upper stroller, as long as that particular stroller can take car seats, right? So there's always the instances. In many cases, there are brands that can fit together. So it's very common to see an Upper Baby Vista with a Maxi Cozy Siege or a Clec Lane or other brands intermixed based on like what you found to be valuable, where you found the most value for your seat, and what just fit your life best. Because again, we're talking about vehicle fit. So if a particular car seat doesn't fit your car, but another one does, and you can get an adapter, great. Fit and compatibility is the most important thing over just like, oh, a sweet set of features or trying to like match perfect. So we always would suggest start with fit, start with your needs, and then pick a product to make a travel system, even though that term means nothing.
See, passion. And to make it really easy, we have a little car seat compatibility chart on our website that shows all the strollers, which car seats take them, which adapters you need, so you don't even have to think about it. We did it for you. We did the work. I didn't, but...
But we did it. We collectively.
Did.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk on travel systems.
There's more to come, don't worry.
Okay, so again, all car seats must pass minimum federal testing. Added features may suit your life better. So all car seats safe, but this is where we're going to get into the discrepancy between features. Some are on different car seats for different reasons. We'll talk through some of that.
I mean, I think weight is a big one. A lot of car seats go up to 35 pounds, like the Kleck Ling, and some have a bit of a lower weight limit, like the Aria, which goes up to 22 pounds. And you might think, it's only gonna take me 22 pounds. The 22 pounds is almost a 2-year-old. Chances are you're not carrying your 2-year-old in a bucket seat unless very rare instances where you may.
No, I literally looked this up. The average age of a 2-year-old in Canada is 25 pounds. So if you were stressed, like, oh, my baby might, if you birthed a giant, bless, you have an athlete for the future days. And maybe you're out of a car seat earlier. The benefit to the smaller car seats is they're way lighter.
Way lighter.
So when you're carrying around your little one in your infant car seat, the benefit of the small one is why it's way lighter. Because again, these seats, if you were really to put a 35-pound kid in there, it's a
45-pound almost.
Now, there are situations where that happens. I'll give one anecdote. So my family member of mine, they had a child who was in a convertible car seat, not quite big enough to go to a booster seat, and their little one was about to exit the 22-pound range to go into a convertible car seat. And because their kids were perfectly spaced, they didn't want to buy another convertible car seat when they were just going to have to buy a booster seat very quickly. And so that was like one instance where they came up against the 22-pound range. Their kid was 2, and their other kid was 6. They just had a small first kid. So again, all these things, it's like there's niche experiences where that comes together and happens, and so that's where the additional weight is helpful. But in general, you're probably going to be out of the seat around a year. Okay?
I mean, I birthed a giant. We got rid of it at 4 months. Because I'm not a strong girl, so. I didn't want to carry it around.
Okay.
Installation. There's a lot of different installations. We have rigid latch, which you can see here. We unpulled it out, so if you could pull it out for me, that'd be great. But they're just your hard latches. Thomas has a really cool statistic that I can't seem to remember about the safer install use. You're gonna have to speak to this one because I can't remember yours.
So remember I said earlier, up to 70% of car seats can be installed incorrectly. So with rigid latch installs, that same study found that 70% of rigid latch installs were installed correctly, and 40% of soft latch or belt installs were installed correctly. So it's not that there is an unsafe approach to using a soft latch or a belt, because a belt, we use belts. So belts are safe, like we use belts personally. It's just that getting the installation correct is the important part. And the benefit of a rigid latch install like this is it makes it a lot easier to get it correct.
Now looking at a soft latch install, I'll get you to take this guy off for me as well so I don't ruin everyone's ears. They look more floppy, I guess is a better word. And they're gonna ratchet like this. Okay, you do it. So that's what they look like. There is a difference between them, but they are both gonna use those UAS connectors. And you can install baseless as well, doing European belt routing. That's really nice and easy for, if you're going in taxis a lot, you forgot the base in someone's car.
It literally happened to me. My wife took the car, had the base in it, and I was at home with the kiddo in the stroller, and I was walking, I'm like, I need to go, like, pick up something. I can't remember, it's pick up. So I had to learn how to use the belt path that day, and it works. It was great. It was fantastic. But I wouldn't want to do it every time because it is a little bit annoying to run a belt every single time, which is where...
If you are in and out, this is a really cool option. This is the Nuna Urban. As you can see, the rigid latch is like right on the car seat. There is no base, so you can just click it in and go pretty much, which is pretty cool.
This is really cool. This is especially handy if you live
in the city.
Exactly, where you're like, I don't want to lug the base and I don't want to be, I know I'm going to be in and out of taxis. I know I'm going to be in and out of Ubers. Taxis, I guess, a bit outdated, right? But you can install, know that it's safely corrected without having to worry about doing a belt install. So it's also light. You don't have to worry about the base. So really handy option, rigid latch install too, which is fantastic.
And I'm going to cut you off because we have a social media question. Stella, take it away.
So Isha asked, do these seats move around 360 degrees inside the car?
That is a great question. So I'm going to repeat it.
Okay.
We asked, do these seats move 360 in the car? And generally the answer is no, but Cybex has a really cool seat, the Aton 2 swivel, that does that. It swivels on the base as an infant seat, so pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the convertible car seats, there's many more options that swivel. In the 360, in the infant seats, there's fewer. It is a little more helpful in the convertible stage than it is in the infant stage. Where you're really going to see the benefit on the infant stage is if you turn them sideways, pull them out to put them in the bassinet. But if you're loading it in and out, I mean, it's not a huge. That's why you don't see it on as many infant car seats, but you're starting to see it on like every convertible car seat. They're really pushing that. So
Because it's sick.
it's pretty cool.
And we have another social media question.
And someone asked, are there any negatives to a rotating car seat?
Well, generally they're a little heavier,
Sometimes they're a bit more expensive,
and they often take up a bit more space.
but if you have a toddler who hates the car seat, I don't know what to tell you, it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about some other safety features. I feel like these words, especially on the screen, we throw around a lot. Side impact protection, for instance. I think we can bring out a load leg so everyone knows what it is and we can show it off. But these are just little extra things that help make car seats a little safer. As you can see, Thomas put down the load leg. That's going to...
No, you're good.
No, you go.
Okay. The leg that basically a load leg is going to help with sideways tension. So if there's impact, it's going to prevent it from doing as much of this. So it really is, because what you're doing is you're locking this into the ground and creating an extra stable base. So you get a right angle installation that's also pressing it into the seat. So you get a lot less movement in the case of an impact, right? So it's another way to kind of hold the seat stable and prevent sideways rotation.
There's also anti-rebound panels. You can see it right here on this one. Some car seats, you actually use the carry handle and put it into the lowest position to create an anti-rebound bar. And those kind of just do what they sound. It helps prevent any rebounding in the event of a collision.
Yeah, so if the seat comes like this, in the case of a collision, you have extra protection holding the seat from rotating too far this way.
And another passionate topic we have is fabrics, which I'll let you do a TED Talk on.
So every seat we carry is flame retardant material free, okay? Why would we even mention that, or what's important? Are we like bragging that they don't handle fire? No, they are still flame retardant. It's because of the types of fabrics or the weave of the fabric we're using. But flame retardant material specifically can cause developmental delays. And so I was walking through Walmart and I took a look at some of the seats, and you'll notice they make no claims about flame retardant free materials, which means your little one is laying on flame retardant materials, potentially breathing that in. And so we want to carry high-end fabrics that are natural materials or incredibly well-made synthetic materials that are going to be safe and allow your little one to breathe easily.
And fabrics not only are a safety concern, but they can also be a pretty comfort concern.
Yes.
Or convenience feature in terms of cleaning.
Before we move on, I want to demo just one thing. Is that fine?
I
can
feel
do
like
that?
I know what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
If you're here today, brace yourself.
So you use the infant seat for the least amount of time, maybe except for a bassinet, and they're kind of expensive. And so there's always this very real question of like, why spend on the infant cars? Can I cheap on that one and then get, go more on the big one? So the reality is with car seats, you're almost always getting more for what you pay for. And when you take premium seats, like this Kleckling here, you'll notice if I pick up this base and if I drop a cheap seat, they're not making that much noise because the materials they're using are trash and it's just cheap plastics and there's no steel reinforcements and their latching systems are poor and the build quality is poor. And so this is something that protects your child in the event of an accident. That's really what it's there for. And so we want to offer great products to keep your little ones safe. So premium seats come with those premium features, plus they have load legs, plus they have better canopies, plus all the other convenient features we're going to talk about. But really, a lot of what you're paying for is better build materials, better fabrics, better safety options. Yes?
Someone asked which car seats were being displayed, and also Isha asked, does the fabric resist temperature changes in harsh weather like winter and summer?
So it depends on fabrics. So wool's going to adjust. Some car seats don't have wool, but they will have venting in the back. It's going to allow for better airflow. The ones that were featured, we had the Kleckling, the Nuna Urban, and the Uppa Baby Aria. Those are just 3 of the many that we carry. So we have plenty of seats that have load legs. We have plenty of seats with all these same options. Check out our roundup. We have a great roundup on YouTube and on the website where we literally talk through all the infant car seats that we carry and the different options between them. But those are the 3 we were demoing today, just to give you a variety of installs and types.
And we also brought out the Cloud G-Lux, which, in case you're wondering, that's the new one we brought out.
Yes, this is a Cloud G-Lux, which we'll talk about some of those features shortly.
Also, canopy can be a big thing if you're using it as a, hate to say it, but a travel system. Canopy might be a big thing if you're going out and about, getting most shade coverage, or if you don't have shades on your windows or you don't want to buy one. The Kleck, now that we have it out, has a really cool, thank you, double extendable canopy, giving just nice full coverage, UPF resistant. Kind of all the things you want to protect little ones from the sun. We know they can't use sunscreen until after 6 months anyway, so kind of a cool feature. But we skipped over the really cool feature about cleaning.
Oh, you're right.
So we're gonna have to backtrack, because you guys have to see this.
So we mentioned fabrics for flame retardant free materials, but one of the other things that's really cool about great car seats is the fabric's easy to remove and therefore easy to clean. If you haven't had kids yet, you're not going to appreciate this, but like blowouts are such a real thing.
Or puke.
Puke is such, both at the same time is such a real thing.
And it happens.
Yes, multiple times, and it's like you clean it and then you get back in the car and then it happens again, and
That was my life like last
yes,
week.
so
yeah.
this is a very real thing, and the ability to clean fabrics easily. So one option here, we have a zip out from Kleck. The Cybex has buttons to hold it all together. You print better car seats, have better fabrics that clean faster. You can put them in the washing machine.
Check your manual, just to be safe, and your dryer restrictions, because
And your dryer restrictions, but you want something that's easy to clean. So in the very real event of blowouts or other things, you can clean it, and it doesn't smell like poop for the rest of its life.
or puke.
Or puke.
Another cool thing is the carry handle. Carry handle might seem like kind of a little thing, but the more ergonomic, the better. Eventually, you're gonna be the ones carrying it around. And I think everyone maybe has seen this little TikTok hack, but this is like the ultimate way to carry your car seat. You don't want to pull on your back or your shoulders or get carpal tunnel. Just try this. Trust me.
Just loop it around.
It looks easy, but like I can do it too. So
This seems like a small thing, but when you get shown it and you have your kid and it's like 3 months in and you're tired and lugging them around like this, and someone goes, hey, just pick it up like this. That first moment you're gonna go, oh, thank God. So it's a little thing. Take that, it's just free. It's free for you, free for you all.
just remember it. We have another social media question.
Someone asked, only drawback for the Aria is 22-pound weight capacity. Do you recommend anything else with a higher weight capacity?
So lots of great seats across the board. We talked a little bit about the weight capacity, so just note, the average 2-year-old in Canada is 25 pounds. So unless you're birthing giants or extremely tall kids, that will probably never come into play, because there's also the Pippa Light, or the Urbana, sorry, and there's other great car seats that are light. However, if you want a bigger carrying limit, most car seats are going to be between 30 and 35 pounds. So you have the Mesa, which is a fantastic car seat. You have the Mexico's Amica Lux, you have the Kleck Ling, you have an endless number of options that are great. So check out our learning center where we've got a roundup of all the products.
Great. Now let's talk about some cool, maybe more brand-specific features. I mean, we have the Cloud G-Lux out for a reason. This has such a cool recline. Thomas is going to demo it right now, but basically, you're only going to use this on your stroller. You're not going to use this on your base, but if your little one is sleeping, they give a nice flat recline and gives them a little more room to stretch out, be comfortable.
The other one is the Peg. Oh, no, I'm on the spot. I'm forgetting the name.
Well, we have Peg here.
I will ask Peg for the name of the seat. They also have a lounge option where it's going to lay back. Just how comfy that looks. How great is that, right?
It's just one of those little things that is kind of nice to have.
Yep.
Other things, we have base reclines.
Yep. And the last I'll touch on is this is a Cybex specific feature. They have a sensor-safe buckle. So this has a number of features. You tie it to your smartphone. It'll regulate temperature, so if baby's too hot, too cold, it'll give you a notification. If you leave the car and the little one's still in there, it'll send a notification. There's a whole setting where you can have it. It's like, oh, I walked too far away. It sent me a notification. I didn't see the notification because I was busy. It'll send it out to a whole host of contacts so that they can come and find the little one, or even dial like a first responders number for you. So like, pretty great protection. Also some little ones like
if you leave your little one in the car for too long, it gives you a little reminder to maybe take a break if you're trying to really gun it on a road trip.
That's right. You're making time and you're not stopping.
Get a subscription that you have to have with that app for it to contact
Nope.
the first responder.
Nope. All in app all included. Non-paid feature.
Benefit feature.
Hey. Well, last thing we should talk about with car seats is budget considerations. We kind of touched on this on value for money. There's a lot of great car seats. There really are. We have a lot of great car seats. And the benefit of being a retailer is I get to sell them all, rather than try and pigeonhole you into one specific one. So what I would suggest is take a look at everything we've discussed, look at the various car seats, think about what features you actually care about and which ones you don't. So if you don't care about it being light, you don't need to worry about getting a light car seat. If you prefer a lighter car seat, then look into a lighter car seat. Are you going to be in and out of an Uber or a taxi? Maybe something that has a rigid latch install without a base is a great option. Are you driving and you're installing it once? Maybe you don't care about that as much. Think about like what actually matters to you, and then you can narrow down your suite of car seats and pick the best one for your family while accounting for fit, right? Car vehicle fit.
While we're on budget,
Yeah.
we could touch on the next stage car seats, because eventually you're gonna need them.
These are our convertible car seats. We, once again, have a wide array across a number of brands. The benefit to having covered that much information on infant car seats is so much of it applies to convertible car seats. So a lot of the feature sets are going to be similar. In a convertible car seat, things you're going to look for. Does it have no rethread harness? What does that mean? Well, if I take my, I actually had this seat. You'll notice if I want to adjust the height on the Kleck Foomph, I just have to thread the harness through the back, right? Whereas in some car seats, you can lift it up and down. Now, there's always trade-offs, right? You don't do that very often. So it's, it's a convenience feature to do this, but you also don't have to rethread it that often. Again, unless you have that giant special kid. I'm sorry, I can't account for every giant special kid.
I had a giant special kid.
Yeah.
You're also going to look, most of them come with some form of anti-rebound, whether it be a bar, be it built into the cup holders. Some come with cup holders, and when your kid gets older, you're going to want cup holders.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cup holders are sweet.
The biggest changes with these car seats and things you're going to look at, there are some safety things like side and back protection versus others. There's like this thing, if you feel it, it'll be built like a tank, but then you have great side and back protection in other car seats. There's a million options, but some of the things you're going to think about are install. These are harder to install and uninstall, all of them. And some of them, okay. There's some innovations where you have like this guy. You literally run a belt through underneath the seat, slam this closed, and it locks in place. You're good. And some recent updates, we have Cybex made some updates to their car seats. Baby just launched a new convertible car seat with more of a single click install. So they're making improvements in that across the board. So you're going to find some have easier installs, some have harder installs. Where would you care about that? Are you setting it and forgetting it? Like I installed this in my car and never touched it until I had to turn it around. So for me, it didn't matter. My other car, we take the car seat in and out all the time. So we actually bought a different car seat because I wanted an easier install to yank it in and out.
I have 4 car seats, so I am a rare breed.
You have one kid.
I know. What can I say? Question from social?
Someone asked, are the cup holders removable or built in?
It depends on the car seat.
Depends on the car seat. Some are removable, some are built in. Yes.
Are these stage 1 or stage 2 car seats?
Great question. All convertibles are technically stage 2. So they're going to do rear and forward facing. However, most of them can take an infant. So you might need an insert, you may have to buy the insert separately, or they come in the box. So you can use them right from birth, but the suggested progression, buy an infant bucket seat, and then when they grow out of that or they're ready for that next stage, you put them into a second stage seat or convertible seat.
And for our social audience who might not have heard that question, we were asked if these are stage 1 or stage 2 car seats. So
Sorry, yes.
just so you guys also know, we're not forgetting about you.
And you guys kind of mentioned it, but approximately what age and/or pounds would you switch to this?
Okay, great question. So the question was approximately what age or stage would you make a switch?
Or pounds?
Yes, so each car seat has its own like early starting weight limit. So from that weight limit, you can make the switch. So generally, like in real world terms, it's like there's the suggested max out your infant car seat, then go to your second stage, max that out, rear facing, max it out forward facing, and then go to booster, right? That's kind of the ideal progression. Real world is once they are big enough to fit into the seat, either with the infant insert, if it comes with one, or you need to purchase one separately, it's safe and fine to use. Now, what generally happens, real world, is you just get tired of picking up the infant car seat with them in it. It gets too heavy. They don't like it. They start squirming around too much. They want more space. They want to be able to see a little bit more. It's an organic development that happens. For me, with my eldest, it was 9 months. For me, with my youngest, it was 6 months. They just wanted it. They were done.
For me, it was 4.
My sister-in-law, like a year and a half, because her kids were comfy. So it's organic.
Okay.
Yeah, and basically at that time,
Yeah.
you'll get tired of it or they'll get tired of it, and you'll let each other know. And then as long as they fit within the weight and height restrictions, you're good.
Cool. Should we bring in some all-in-one car seats?
Yes, we're going to touch on one last thing on the car seat world, which is the all-in-one car seat, which will also kind of take us into boosters, and then we're on to strollers. Sound good? Everyone still with us? Yeah? Do I need to do the whale joke again? I heard an aggressive no. Thank you, Cindy. This is Cindy. She is our store manager for this Oakville location, which is going to be opening soon. We're still just doing some final touches, but make sure when it's open to come say hello to her. Okay, so last thing to discuss, and we'll, again, carry over from your convertible car seat to all-in-one car seat. A lot of the same ideas, features, things you're going to be looking out for. But this is where we start seeing 360, and we start seeing an all-in-one solution. So an all-in-one solution basically means from infant all the way through to booster. Each one's going to have a different height weight limit. So the Callisto, I just filmed this so it's off the top of my head. It's a new one from Cybex. It goes up to like 120 pounds and 57 inches tall. Again, to pick on the Cybex rep, she's like 53 inches and she's an adult. So that's like, it'll take you your whole, sorry, Olivia.
We love you.
We love, yeah. So you're going to use it for a long time, right? That's the benefit of it. Downside is they're more expensive, a little bit bigger, and heavy.
Yeah,
Why-
you saw me lift it.
Why are they more expensive? Because you don't have to buy a booster. So there's a cost savings, and it's a little bit of a cry now, or spend a little bit less and spend a bit more later. Booster seats are going to run somewhere between $200 and $500, depending on the booster seat. So, you can get one and done, or you can spread those purchases out as you need. Some of this is dependent on your family planning. Where these sorts of seats are really handy is grandparent seats, because you can literally install them, and no matter what age of a grandkid, they can accommodate that child, so that's a fantastic option for them. This is also where you're going to really see, in my view, the benefit of the 360 seat.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Because basically, you can turn to the side, they're squirming, you have more, it's easier to put them in, lock them in. You're not trying to like bend over the side, maybe your car's up here, or for me, the cars are up and down here, and you're trying to install it. It makes it a lot easier to just put your little one in. Ensure that they're comfortable, you're comfortable. I'm sweating so bad. It is so gross.
I was like, I hope nobody
apologize.
notices that
Maybe it
I'm
doesn't come across on
shiny.
social, but I know everyone here is looking at it going, jeez, dude.
Yeah, I just looked at you. I was like, wow, I
Yeah.
hope I don't look like that. Just kidding.
Rude.
I didn't mean it like that.
Vacation denied. Okay. So this is where you're going to see 360 car seats. We have a ton of options in this range. There's Britax One for Life. We have the Peg Prego Prima Viaggio.
You got it.
I got it. I know.
The Maxi Cozy Andy.
Brand new. So you're going to want to check. This is like brand new. We haven't had time to film with it yet. So it's like super new, really cool. We have the Callisto from Cybex back there. You can take a look at that one. We've got a huge YouTube video on it. So
We have 2 YouTube videos
Two
on
YouTube
it, where
videos
I
on
made
it,
my
so-
debut.
that's right. Yes.
Can't ignore that.
Yeah. So lots of options in this range. What you're looking at is the trade-off of buy one now versus kind of split and buy two. Why would you buy two if you can buy one now? Great question. Here's an example from me. Long legs, car seats all the way back. I'm actually happy that I'm able to go into a booster seat because it just is a little bit closer to the back seat for my little guy who's also quite tall. And so it just gives him a little bit more leg room. And so we're able to kind of manage that and navigate it a little bit more. Also, if you have kids at different stages and you need to move one out and you want to have a seat separate, that's also, it's nice to have them totally separate. But again, my sister went with an all-in-one, absolutely loved it, and she had 2 kids right next to each other. She bought 2. So she was thrilled with that setup. So again, all this comes down to, like, we're just giving you the information. You get to make the best decision for yourself. And when you sell great products like we do, they're all good. So it's an easy job, really.
Is it stroller time?
It is stroller time. But before we do, let us open for any questions on car seats. Question is what car seats we used. This is like a hotly debated topic among employees. Depending who you ask, you're going to get a different answer. So I I have 3 Klex and a Poplar, a Britax Poplar. So I have 2 Foomps in one car, and I had a Foomp and a Poplar S, because for like $70 you get nicer looking fabric, and why would you not spend $70 to have nicer looking fabric for 8 years? That's crazy to me. So I bought the Poplar S, and I wanted the Poplar because I wanted in and out all the time with that one seat. And the other ones, I'm like a set it and forget it. I don't want to touch it except when to adjust the harness. So for me, love those seats. And they've been fantastic options. You, however, have a whole different suite of seats.
Yeah, I have a Nunarava, love. I have a Britax Boulevard, which they don't make anymore, but still love. I have a Britax One for Life for grandparents, because I wanted an all-in-one. And I have a Maxi Cozy Connie for the other set of grandparents. So,
Yes.
And you know what? I might buy one more, because I kind of need a rotating one.
Literally, like every team member here is going to be like, oh, I have this. So lots of great options, but that's what we used. Yeah.
We don't have an SUV, and
Yeah.
we're finding some car seats are big.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a recommendation for vehicles that are smaller, like there's leg space, but it's getting the kid in? For more cars versus SUVs?
Yeah, there are. So depending on the recline option, the Collect can be a good thinner seat. Oh gosh, now I'm being put on the spot. I'll tell you what. Sorry, the question was, are there car seats, convertible car seats that fit better in smaller cars? Rather than just giving you like a off the top, I will follow up and then I will come and share the information wildly and I'll post it on social later. But yes, there are some options. Honestly, the best thing is the dimensions, because the dimensions are like, you start getting to that playing with inches, right? We're like, if I could get 2 inches closer, that would be a bit better. I'd be able to get more room. So best thing is just like looking at the specs, and thankfully we publish all of that so you can kind of see where the depths are. But I'll follow up with you right after, yeah?
I feel you. I had a Jeep. The short seats are short.
Yeah, it's like not this, it's this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had the opposite problem.
In the door.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very real. That's why fit is everything. Yeah. There's lots of great seats. So if you want to get the one that fits your family. Amazing. Okay. Sorry, is there any other questions? I didn't see any hands, but no? Okay, great. Strollers. Stroller buying guide. So, the stroller buying guide considerations. I'm going to start talking this as we're bringing through. Honestly, this is where a bit of family planning comes into play. What stroller you should buy. Because really, you have a couple options. You're going to have your single, your double, single to doubles. You're going to have your travel, your compact strollers. Like, there's a wide range of sizes. And it's all going to come down to family planning to some extent, and then also size, weight, comfort, materials we'll talk about. So, a single stroller aptly means it will accommodate one child, okay? So there are full-size single strollers like the Cruise, like the Fame, the Zelia, like lots of other great, like the Mix Next that are fantastic, and great strollers, full-featured, huge baskets, amazing for everyday life. And then there are single strollers, like travel strollers and compact strollers that are smaller, and also fantastic, but just smaller. So understanding that when you think of a single stroller, one child at a time, okay? Your single to double can be a single or a double. And then there are some strollers that are like a pure double. So you'll see like a side-by-side. Often when people have twins, you'll see like a double travel stroller or something. So we're gonna mostly talk through the doubles because in general, a lot of the features are going to cross between the two. The difference is like size, weight. But in general, when you're looking and evaluating a stroller, the suite of tools is the same. The difference is just family planning. So here's an example. Our director of marketing was like, I'm getting a single stroller. I'm having one kid, seeing how that's going, and then we'll go from there. I don't want any pressure for future kids. Had a single stroller, well, the new Mix Next actually.
She did.
And then like had a second kid within 2 years.
Yeah, she had 202.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2, and then she's like, well, and then so she upgraded to a double. Because that's just the way her life worked out.
And now she has 3.
Literally. And I had the opposite. I bought a double stroller thinking like, we're definitely having 2 kids right away. And life didn't work out that way. And so I used my double as a single both times. Now, was I sad about that? Not really, because it was a great stroller and it worked as a single. But just, you know, it's like family planning. You do your best to make a decision at the time for what you think your future will be. And then like reality will happen. So in some ways it's not that deep, but just try and make the best decision now. What do you think right now? A single stroller is smaller, lighter, more compact, right? And then you can look at the features across everything we're going to discuss, but that's really what you're trading off.
And there's so many, I mean, you can see right here types of single to double strollers. There's at least 3 types, and they look very different, as you can see. Do you want to start with the Nuna Dummy Nest?
Yes, so I'm going to talk we're gonna talk kind of the different styles of double strollers, okay? So I'll start with the Demi next because it's kind of an interesting one. It sits in between, right? It's a single stroller most of the time, but can be a double stroller, right? That's kind of the approach of the Demi next. What's cool about its setup is the seats are stacked vertically. So the idea is like, okay, I've got my little one and maybe I've got a slightly older child. That's literally my life. This would have been perfect for me. So my oldest one's probably gonna go on a glider board most of the time, but maybe we're out, it's a long day, they're tired, they wanna hop in. Okay, that's fine. I lose my basket. That's okay though, because I can put them in the seat. The other benefit is them being stacked vertically. There's a weight distribution thing. So you got 2 kids, makes the stroller heavy. When you stack all the weight on top of the axle, makes it easier to push. It's also not as deep, so it's easier to navigate around through the mall. So if you're thinking, I want a single stroller probably for size and compactness, but maybe I need the double, this could be a great option.
It also comes with the rider board,
Totally, so
which
it's a
is
great
kind of
option.
sick.
Next is like a tandem setup. So we're displaying the Vista V3 here. However, there's lots of great options. We have the Silvercross Wave and many others, the Yipsy. I always forget as soon as I start talking. Kangaroo. So there's lots of great options in this world where it's that same concept where you're gonna have 2 seats, can be a single, and you can put the seats in different directions. The last is kind of a side-by-side concept. So this is most often used in twins, but it works great with like 2 kids if they're young and close together, where it's going to be wider, right? But the nice thing about it is the weight is once again distributed over the axle or through the middle, so it's going to be easier to push and not take up as much room. So it's a little bit about weight distribution. Downside to this setup is weight at the front or distributed more elongated, so it's going to be a bit harder to push in double mode than something where the weight's over the center. So you're managing weight. That might not be a concern for you, and so you can pick whichever one you like. But if it is a concern, something like this, where the weight's distributed over the center, you're going to have an easier push and a little bit easier time controlling the stroller when it's fully loaded up. Or you could buy a Cybex E-Gazelle, which then has e-assist, but we'll get to that later. I saw that hand.
Someone asked, sorry, what was the first stroller again?
So the first stroller is the Nuna Demi Next.
And someone asked, is there a weight limit for rider boards?
John, weight limit for rider boards. The question was, is there a weight limit for rider boards? He's also looking it up, so it's not just me who doesn't know. So we'll come back to
It's just that it's such a good question.
It's such a good question.
Such a good question.
I have no idea, because I would probably stand on it.
Could for this one, when it's just a single, can it rotate like to face forward? Or
Yes.
So you can walk it.
Yeah, so the question was, this stroller in a single, can you have the seat going both ways? Yes, you can have it facing in and out. In a double, no, because I think you'll end up with this hitting into the face of the little one below. So you're kind of into one side. Yeah. But this will also recline back. Just so you know.
Actually, all of the seats we have, you could do parent or world facing options.
All the options here. Yeah.
All the ones we're showing here.
John? 50 pounds. So, glider board can use up to 50 pounds on the Nuna Demi Next.
So don't stand on it.
Well, I'll see if I can fit on it. Okay. Sorry. So we're going to talk about storage and fold. So I'm going to move. Can I get my little helpers who move this guy?
So one thing you're going to want to consider is where you're storing your stroller when you're not using it, and honestly your car, because not all strollers are going to fit in every car. We've done kind of a crazy series on our Instagram where we've folded lots of strollers and put them in different cars, and a lot of them do fit, but they do have very different folding styles. For instance, as you can see, Thomas is doing a flat fold style, what the Donkey does. That's going to take up more room in your trunk. It's going to take up more room in your garage, but if you have the room for it, I mean, don't worry about it. This guy is the Vista. It does a self-standing fold, so it's going to fold upright. Again, when you're loading it into your car, that's not going to be a concern. You're going to load it in. You can take both the seats off to make it more compact. But if you're loading it in your garage, storing it, and you kind of need more space, or if you live in a condo and you have a storage locker that you're going to be keeping it in, this might be a great option because it's going to take vertical space up. Or even if you're just storing it for a second kid and you want less room in your basement or wherever, you have more of a compact fold. Travel strollers, they really fold up nice and tight. We will get there. Trust me, I really want to fold one for you, and they're going to take up like no room. We ended up buying a travel stroller, to keep in our car because this was just taking up too much space, and I have a 2-year-old. So again, all things you're just going to want to consider. You're also going to want to consider, can you lift it? Because at the end of the day, you guys will be putting it in your car. You're going to want to be able to lift it comfortably and get it in. So just
Don't be a hero. Like, pick one that you can actually pick up, because when you're sitting there in the mall and it's winter and you're standing on ice and your footing isn't stable and you're like, this thing weighs as much as me, and you're trying to load it. Just like get one that you can pick up, you know?
And like pro tip,
I mean, I hit on-
practice folding it
Yeah, I mean, I
before.
throw some darts at my in-laws. They're like 4'1", so like they have to get a smaller stroller. Shout out Nate.
We have I saw a hand.
Someone asked for the Vista. Do the wheels come off to clean?
Yes.
Okay,
I just
expert
heard yes
over
in a
here.
minute.
I love
Look how
it.
much of a follower I was. I literally heard that and I repeated it. So the question was, do the wheels come off to clean them?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And if someone wanted to know what are the pros and cons of infant insert bassinet?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah, bassinet is rated for long sleep, an actual, like it's rated for sleep and also
Well,
for
it
overnight
depends on
sleep.
the bassinet. Not all bassinets are rated for overnight sleep.
Sorry, that's right. But they are, so bassinets are designed for sleeping. So you get a bassinet for long walks, long periods where the baby is going to be sleeping. Some bassinets are rated for overnight sleep. Whereas an infant insert is to support your infant in a car seat. Now, some of them can lay flat and allow for some sleep, but it's recommended for longer sleeps if you're gonna have them there for a long time to be putting them in a bassinet. Again, check, each stroller brand's a little bit different. Some are like designed for sleep capabilities and have different setups for it, but really for longer sleeps, that's where you're gonna wanna look at a bassinet.
Or nice long summer walks if you have a summer baby like me. Bassinet is just so great.
Okay, so two of my favorite subjects, terrain, wheels, and suspension. This is like the dad topic. This is the one I get to have a lot of fun with. So basically, you're gonna have three styles of wheels with some variants in between, but you have three-wheeled strollers, which are gonna have a ton of tread, which are typically designed for running, but they have a lot of uses outside of just jogging and running. My sister lives on a farm, which means she's out in the country, so she's walking on dirt, and she's like, I need a stroller that can push through dirt she went actually with one that has air-filled wheels, so she can actually remove a bit of the air and get a little bit more stability, a little bit better walking speed. So there are options with these strollers beyond just using them for jogging. So you're looking at a three-wheeled stroller, but really it's the tread and the wheel. It's gonna be better for outdoors. Next, if we're talking about different from the standard, you have your travel size wheels, which are gonna be smaller. They have a thinner amount of foam, which means they're gonna roll really smooth on hard surfaces, but they're not going to handle bumpier surfaces as well. So airports, malls, indoor areas that are really fantastic, they're gonna struggle a little bit more when they're on rougher terrain. Also, again, the wheels are smaller, so for every push, they rotate more, so they're gonna roll a little bit slower, a little bit more friction, slow you down. So that's the downside of having smaller wheels.
The trade-off is it's much more compact to fold.
Way more, and because the wheels are small, they fit way easier in your vehicle. Last is your kind of standard, let's call it full-size wheels, where you're gonna have bigger wheels in the back, slightly smaller ones in the front. This is gonna make it easier for steering and turning, but also because you have bigger wheels in the back, it's gonna roll a little bit smoother and push a bit better, because again, bigger wheels, gonna turn fewer times to go further distance. Did you know that? No. No, I know. Rude, eh? Okay, so again, treads on these wheels, they're typically foam. Most of the strollers like this are not going to be air-filled. You may get a rubber coating, but they're going to be foam-filled to avoid tire punctures. So they're hard, and it's a hard industrial foam, so it's gonna last and hold up. Like, you'll see strollers like this that are 10 years old. So you don't have to worry about the longevity, because it is a dense foam, but you also don't have to worry about punctures, right? So you're not worrying about something breaking.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Why does suspension matter?
I'm glad you asked.
I know you are.
So, the great thing about better strollers and better suspension in strollers is if you're bumping over heavy things, you'll notice that the stroller actually presses, and it takes some of that weight. Now, why does that matter? I am not holding this.
Don't
Why
worry,
does
you
that
speak
matter?
loud.
The reason it matters is because as you're going over rough terrain, if the stroller is not absorbing the shock and it's holding tight and it's solid frame, then it's bouncing around. And then that means that's transferred to your connector. And if this is too tight and this has no give or play, then it's your baby that gets shook. So strollers with better suspension, which a lot of our strollers have, and you feel free to test them later, they're going to absorb that shock. Again, it's like, you don't think about it, so you walk over a bridge at the park, and it's an old wooden bridge, and it's like, you're like, oh, that's why suspension matters. Now my baby doesn't have a concussion.
And
So,
it goes the same for infant car seats too, right? When you use it as a travel system?
yeah, this is a common thing that comes up. People will be like, hey, my car seat feels like it's moving. It's like, no, there's supposed to be a bit of play, because you want it to move, so it absorbs the shock, rather than if it's hold solid, then your baby's head's bouncing back and forth. Again, if you check out a Walmart stroller, you'll notice no suspension.
So much
No
Walmart
I
hate
know,
today.
I just I was there. So
We have a social question.
Yes.
Someone asked, what stroller would you recommend for the mean winter streets in Canada?
Stroller for the mean winter seats in Canada. Honestly, depends what you mean by mean winter streets. Are you like, hey, it's the outdoors time and I'm going tobogganing every single day and I'm walking and I'm trudging my stroller through all the snow? If that's the case, honestly, a bigger wheel air-filled is going to be a fantastic option. If you just mean like
Regular sidewalk.
it's going to go on the sidewalk and then into a store, then any of the full-size options are fantastic. Again, travel strollers will work if you really want to push and work through, but it's not what they're designed for. So any of the full-size stroller wheels are great.
And someone asked, what would you recommend for trails in BC?
Ooh, I haven't been lucky enough to go to trails in BC, but
If you're going to be doing a lot of trails, if you can get a stroller with a wheel that's got more of a rubber covering, so it gives you a little bit more grip. Again, there's the 3-wheel all-terrain, but there are some strollers that have different wheel tread, so anything that's a little bit more aggressive. Bumble Ride actually comes to mind as an option. So
great
take a look at
option.
that. Yeah.
And then someone just asked to repeat what strollers were just shown.
So we were looking at the Vista V3, the Upper Baby Ridge, and the Bugaboo Butterfly.
Oh, now you made me do it.
Yeah.
Bugaboo Butterfly 2.
2. Sorry.
Not the
yes.
original one. Just to clarify.
Yes.
Could you substitute rubber wheels for these kinds of strollers instead of the foam, or no?
Depends on the stroller. Michelle, can you replace the upper wheels with rubber wheels, like a more all-terrain wheel on the Vista? Yes, you can. Yes. The question was, can you swap out the Vista wheels for a more all-terrain rugged wheel? And the answer is yes, you can. It'll just be an accessory add-on. Yeah. Cool.
All right.
We're coming to
seats.
the home stretch. Don't worry.
Seats and storage. So we kind of touched on this earlier. Some seats can be parent-facing, some can be world-facing. They do both. Typically with a travel stroller, you're always going to be getting that world-facing option. But with full-size strollers, you tend to have the opportunity to kind of mix and match, and especially if it's a tandem, you can usually do a lot of configurations. That's really nice if you want to look at your baby, and then eventually they'll tell you they don't want to look at you like mine does. We also have seat recline. Some seats will go all the way down. Again, this one specifically isn't newborn ready because it's not fully lay flat. You want to put an infant insert, but the new Cruise, for instance, comes with that insert, and you can do it ready. The Reef 2 also is a great lay flat option, so it's newborn ready. Some have even like little cool bassinet configurations that you can kind of makeshift and do it up, which is pretty cool. And my favorite topic is basket size. If you're like me and you like to shop, test your basket and see how much stuff you can fit in it, because there's nothing worse than carrying shopping bags. I don't think I ever could again. Travel strollers, you're not going to get a big basket. I actually got an upgraded to the Vista from my Cruise because I wanted a bigger basket. That's all I wanted. I'm not ready to have a second kid. I wanted a bigger basket, and that's why I
Or
did that.
strategically buy a small basket, and then you don't have as much spending. So there's options here. All these things, again, are pick what matters to you and what matters for your life. So I want a small basket.
And I want a giant one. Yes. I don't know who I gestured to. Go ahead.
So we got the Vista V3. We're buying the bassinet and we have the Aria car seat. Do we also need the infant insert for the regular seat?
No, if you're using the car seat, you don't, unless you plan on using the car seat separate from the bassinet and separate from your Aria infant seat. So probably you won't for like the first little while. I would imagine you're probably going to use the Aria infant seat on your stroller and in your car, and for longer times put them in the bassinet. So you may not, but again, that's just a thing of like, if you need it after and you feel like, actually I want to be able to use specifically this seat with my infant separate from my car seat and leave it in the car, then you would need one. But that's also something you can think about whether you would. Honestly, probably you'll use your car seat on the stroller and your bassinet.
Or the bassinet. You have 2 newborn ready options.
Not to
You'll
dissuade
know
you,
if
though.
you'll need the third. And social.
Someone asked, can you please share the storage capacities on strollers usually
30
pounds
pounds
for
the
the
basket.
For the basket on the Vista. I don't remember on the Butterfly, but we will.
Oh,
Do you know it?
16-ish.
16-ish. Okay.
Yes.
And then someone was curious, what is the difference between the Cruise
Oh, well, now there's a lot of differences.
Yeah, I'll tell you
The
what.
biggest is that it can be a single to double, and I'll just repeat the question because
Sure.
we didn't. The question was, what is the biggest differences between the Vista V3 and the Cruise V3?
Honestly, the biggest is the fact that one's a single, one's a double, and then there's some small features between there. So you're talking size, weight,
Newborn
capacity,
ready.
Newborn ready, but really the biggest, one's a single, one is a double. Okay? Last, we're in the final stretch here. So last couple things to talk about with strollers you might care about. Thankfully, you would imagine in car seats, it's the same as in the seats on your strollers, which is harnesses and buckles. So where you're really gonna see the difference would be buckles. You're gonna look for, do you have a no rethread harness? Can you adjust it easily? Does the fabric come off to clean easily? There's a few things you can get on strollers where it's like, does it have ventilation through the back? So in warmer weather, you get better airflow. Buckles are an interesting one. There are some that will come with magnetic buckles. It's a small thing, it's a comfort feature, but believe me, when you got a squirmy little one, the fact that you can click in magnets to hold the buckles together, it's a blessing.
Canopies are also huge. We talk about canopies a lot. Similar to car seats. So you'll have extendable canopies. Again, lots of them have ventilation on the back. I don't know if you can see up here, but we have ventilation, peekaboo windows, so when little one is facing the world, you can still check on them. Some even have like extra sun sails, like the Reef 2, where you can get that extra coverage and still have ventilation on the inside.
Yeah, or the Nuna Mix Next, and the Demi Next has like an extendable bug canopy that goes over. It's like that mesh.
The new Cruise has one as well.
Yes, that's right. All these things are added comfort features, and you get to decide whether you care. Really nice ones, honestly. Peekaboo windows are lovely, so you can look down and see your little one. Having extra ventilation. I'm a big fan of like getting a full coverage canopy, so you can actually keep the sun out of their eyes. Two small canopies, a little bit of pain in the butt. But yeah, you get to make that decision for yourself. Do you care? Is it important?
Yes.
Someone from TikTok asked, how well will the City Select 2 work with a board added onto 2 seats?
We had a City Select Deluxe, similar to the Select 2, and fantastic. The question was, City Select 2 work with a rider board in the 2 seats. Done it, and it worked great. It's a pretty sturdy frame, so it holds the weight reasonably well. It's a little bit lighter than previous models, so it'll bend, or it's a little bit heavier to push when it's fully loaded up, but it'll still accommodate it quite well.
Now, let's talk about some really cool things on strollers.
So we got 2 things left in accessories. These are what we would call modern stroller features. Strollers of the future, you could call it, where you're actually getting or electronic components built into the strollers.
These are no joke. I pushed Thomas in one of these with the E-powered, and
Yeah.
it really helped. He's a big guy. And yeah,
It, like,
it
made a
was
difference.
made
You
a
could push me up the
huge
hill.
difference.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
pushed him up and down a hill without struggle.
You even did it with grass.
I did it with
We couldn't
grass.
film it because it looked pathetic, but we
It
pushed me up the
worked,
hill with grass.
but we hit pine cones.
Yeah.
So,
maybe talk about a couple of things in the Maxi Cozy thing.
well, one of the cool things, because I am a Gen Z girl, is it has a phone holder and a charger, which is super cool. If you're like me and your phone is literally always dead, I think mine's dying now, you can actually plug your phone in, hold it up here, and charge it when you're on the go, which is super great if you love long walks. Another really cool thing about the Maxi Cozy Fame is it lights up, which is so great to have reflective lighting. Your basket lights up, so if you're out at night, or, I mean, it's gonna start getting dark at 4:30 soon, so you probably will be out at night. You have that reflective lighting you can see in your basket, and it also just looks really cool.
Yeah, really cool. This is the auto rock feature on the e-Gazelle. It also has the e-assist to help push. So really cool thing here is now, historically you'd be at dinner doing this yourself, pushing baby back and forth, trying to keep him occupied. Look, it just does it. So I can be eating my dinner at the restaurant, having the stroller do this all on its own. How cool is that? Plus, if you're worried about pushing the stroller up a hill, you've got e-assist or holding it on the way down, especially if you've got 2 kids. So really cool features that are coming out in newer strollers, more and more coming each year. But these are a couple of really awesome options.
Really cool ones. Now, one of my favorite things to talk about is all the fun things you can add to your strollers and accessories. So, just a pro tip, once you've picked your stroller, once you've decided, add the accessories you think you want to your baby registry. Some of your strollers will come with cool things. You're gonna want a snack tray eventually, just add it. It's so key. Snack trays are the best. Parent consoles are great. You want something to put your things. You don't want to be carrying a purse, throw it in the basket, get that extra space. Cup holder, test your water bottle too. If you're a big water bottle girly like me, like in a wallet, make sure it fits and is comfortable because you're gonna want it on your walks. Some come with rain covers, some are added purchase, which are so great if you're in a city using longer walks and it starts raining, doing daycare pickups, whatever. And there's also bug nets that look just like that. I just said rain covers. And there's also so much more. Always check what your stroller does come with because some come pretty fully loaded. So you don't want to add something you don't need, but some you might want to add a little extra.
Yeah, the big tip is get them on your registry.
Get 'em on your
because
registry.
They're great gifts. And you're going to need them. You won't think about them because you don't need them right now, but you will need them, and they're great registry items. So, okay. Last, no, yes, from Tick.
Someone asked, how does the battery on the e-Gazelle work? Is it chargeable? And also, can the Gazelle face the parent and can the shopping basket be converted to the bottom?
Basket can't go to the bottom, but it can face both ways with the seat up high, and the battery is rechargeable. That was for the e-Gazelle, and a question about the battery and the seat can face it. Okay, last question about strollers is budget. The reality is there's a lot of strollers, a lot of great strollers, and they've got a lot of features. And so like all things, we would suggest pick the one that fits your budget, that has the most features that you would like. There are some cool things, ravel systems, whatever that means, where you can get something like the Zelia, which has everything all in one. So you can make one purchase, you get your car seat, you get your bassinet, you get your stroller, you get your accessories, and you're done. And they can come at really great prices. It's going to be on sale later. And also, you can piece together a system between all the other products, finding the best one that fits your budget. At the end of the day, you want to look at also what's included and what's not included when you buy. Because there are some that will look really expensive, but when you actually go to make the purchase, oh no, you get the bassinet and the second seat included. Or others that look cheaper, but you realize it's coming, like you're not getting a full system, or it's missing some accessories that another one has. So when you're looking at products and strollers, just make sure you're comparing apples to apples, because what comes in the box is going to help you with the value decision. So you're going to want a lot of these accessories, and so just price them all together and then make the best decision for your family. That's it. We've had a lot of questions through. Is there any final questions we can answer on strollers? Great question. The question was, what do you pick, car seat or stroller first? The recommendation is pick your car seat first, because you're going to be dealing with vehicle fit, you're going to be dealing with safety, like real, true safety, and you're going to, you can find a lot of strollers that work with a lot of car seats. Now, there's another consideration. Like with your infant car seat, you're going to use the stroller longer than your infant car seat, so you don't want to like not get a stroller you like. So again, you're probably going to come to a couple options that work with your car and work with your life, and then ensure that some of them fit with a stroller you like. But I would start with the car seat and then move to the stroller. Okay.
Someone asked, what colors does the Maxi Cozy come in? And are the covers machine washable?
For the Zelia? So the question is, which colors do the Maxi Cozy come in? Where's the rep?
Julia's right there.
Maxi Cozy, colors for the Zelia, what options? I'm forgetting offhand. So there are 2 different blacks, a green and a beige. This one here, you're seeing here, oat colored for the Zelia. Okay, if that's everything, then I'm going to do some giveaways. Does that sound?
We have one more question.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. Who did I cut
Sorry
off?
to jump the gun.
We had a great question from our marketing director, Ms. Carolina Happy, and she directed it to Thomas, I think. She asked, how much protein should a new dad be consuming?
The question was, from our marketing director who's on mat leave, how much protein should a new dad be consuming? Well, because you're not going to be sleeping a lot and you're going to have a generally probably poor diet, the best thing you could do would be to ensure you're getting gram per pound of body weight of protein. You can get that from many different sources. Vegan sources are less digestible, so you have to factor that in if you're using vegan sources and overconsume on the protein. Otherwise, whey protein is a clean and effective way to get protein, but I would go with gram per pound of body weight per day as a starting place, because you're going to be sleeping less, and so you don't want to atrophy while you're not sleeping.
Great
Thank
answer.
you, Melissa. I was almost as passionate about that as a suspension, yeah.
Clearly.
Okay, let's do, so for those online, we've got some giveaways that we've been running all week. This is the moment you've been waiting for. We're going to touch on some of them. So for our first giveaway,
The Townsend Avenue playmat and Teddy Diaper Caddy. Love my playmat, I have to say. This is pretty sweet.
so our winner is Lauren Doyle.
I will be
Woo!
reaching out to you tonight.
For the Maxi Cozy Andy 360 car seat, we have
Modelista chick.
Modelista Chick.
Sorry if I butchered it.
Modelista Chick, we will reach.
I will.
Reaching out to you shortly.
I'll reach out to everyone tonight.
For the Cruise V3, I'll get a bit of a drum roll. Don't worry if you're here, we have some extra ones for you guys, so you're good. But for the Cruise V3, Dana Canning.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
That's sick.
Dana. Woo!
And our last one, a Baby Leto Yuzu 8-in-1 crib. We have
Chels Scatrice. Chels Scatrice. Yes. Good enough. We will reach out via DMs on Instagram. We've validated all the winners. Thank you so much for everyone who's participated online. Let us know if you found this helpful. We're going to follow up with answers to some of the questions that were asked. Thank you so much. We pause now because we want a good exit thumbnail.